The boy Torie Sama. We got AOH destroys the bigger, better, faster myth in the NBA. So there's a little thing going on that we all say that players now are more evolved, they're bigger, better, faster, because the people back in the day they weren't as good, blah 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 blah. We all heard this, and someone in the comment section requested this video. I gotta react to it, because I'm very interested to see what this man has to say. Coming here with open ears, open eyes. Let's get right into this video, man. Hope you had a good day.
Immediately following LeBron's embarrassing appearance on the McAfee show.
All right, hold up. I don't know why it's doing that.
Immediately following LeBron's embarrassing appearance on the McAfee show.
250 points in a game in a seven.
Came this game against the Bulls, and the first close-up they showed of Luka dribbling, you see this, and all I can hear in my head, besides McAfee giggling like a silly schoolgirl and all the slurping sounds he made every time LeBron said any stupid crap, was him talking about they would have called him a witch.
They would have called him a witch.
Talking about Kyrie dribbling back then. Well, they might have. They might have called them all witches because of the witchcraft apparently being used to prevent referees from blowing the whistle with blatant violations of basic fundamental basketball rules. Now, Luka looks like a guy walking to the park with his ball prior to playing, not dribbling.
Nah, this is a crazy pause right here, especially for a live dribble.
This is how bad it's become. It's become so bad, I'm not sure today's NBA players could go back to dribbling legally if they were suddenly forced to do it. Skills, dribbling, all that isn't really what I want to talk about today, but it does get lumped into what I want to talk about today, which is this blindly accepted idea that players are just better now. That it has to be that way. Oh, it just makes sense. Time has gone by, therefore they must have gotten better. Same as the bigger, stronger, faster thing and the incorrect usage of the word evolved. We're going to look at that specifically today. If we're going to talk about bigger, better, faster, comparing the past to the present, what's better than looking at where countries send their very best? The Olympics. First, we're going to look at Croatia because Croatia is known for having big people. I've been there. I felt very, very short. Let's go back in time 32 years when the Dream Team entered the Olympics and ended up playing Croatia for the gold medal. You see the height and the weight of the Croatian roster there. You see that it is the Olympic team. You see that it is 1992. Next, we're going to look at the same team again for the Olympics, but in 2024. I figured I'm going to have to do some calculations, so I went into a spreadsheet, and for your convenience, I listed the calculations. So
why is this the U16 team though?
I went into a spreadsheet.
Or U16 Euro team.
For your convenience,
or Euro
I
Championship.
Listed them by the heaviest players and also by the tallest players, and then went on down to the shortest and most lightweight players. As you can see, going back up to the top, we've got 265, 255, 254. We've got 7'1", 7 foot, 3, 6'11" guys. Not exactly small. The grand total for the weight of the team is 2,654 pounds, 74 feet, 71 inches. None of that means anything without context, so of course I had to do the same thing for the 2024 Croatia team, entering them by their biggest players on down. And what was the grand total for the 2024 team? The grand total in weight was 2,510 pounds, 74 feet, 74 inches. So if we slide that over and look at the 1992 team, the 2024 team is actually 144 pounds lighter than the 1992 team.
Okay, I tried my reactions to be honest, but let's be real, bro. How are you going to compare Let's go back. How you compare the U16 Euro Championship team? This is it. If I'm right, because I know about these, bro. This is a 16-year-olds. I'm gonna fact check that right now, real quick. I'm gonna fact that right. There's U16 Euro Championship 16-year-olds. Let's see real quick. The FIBA U16 Euro basketball's new name for the FIBA U16 Euro. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let me see. Does U16 mean 16-year-olds for Euro basketball? I think it just popped up and I refreshed it. Hold on. Okay, this is not number of team 16. The FIBA is a new name for the FIBA U16 or the FIBA European Championship. Yeah, it's a men's youth basketball competition. So that doesn't, you can't compare the 16 youth team to the Olympic team unless they're the same ages, which I don't think so. You can't compare 6-year-olds to grown men, I feel like. So I don't agree with this one. I don't know why he put that. Let's go back though.
3 inches taller. So out of 74 feet, the present out-edged the past by 3 inches, but lost by 144 pounds in the weight category. Maybe you don't want to talk about averages, or maybe you'd like to look at the United States team. After all, we're the best, right? We're the champions. Cheating, unlike the 1992 team. Questionable victory this year, but let's look at the size. Okay, so there's the 2024 roster. Now let's look at the 1992 roster. Oh yeah.
See, this is more valid.
I recognize those names. Okay, so there they are. Let's do the same thing with the spreadsheet and calculate numbers. Okay, this is Team USA 2024. Height going down, weight going down. And if we scroll back up to the top, we see 280 pounds. That's a big guy. That's Joel Embiid. 255, 253, 250. That would be LeBron James, making LeBron James the 4th heaviest guy on the team as a small forward. Yeah, right. They let him play point guard too, which means he was certainly the heaviest point guard in the Olympics. And him playing point guard meant dribble into a trap and look for someone to bail him out. Great work. The glue, they said. Anyway, let's go over to the 1992 weight and height. 265 looks like Joel Embiid is going to take the crown as the biggest guy overall. Down there at the bottom, you've got John Stockton, the smallest guy overall. But let's take a look at that list again. And Team USA, at a glance, looks bigger to me. But let's look at the official calculations. All right, the grand total for Team USA 2024 in weight is 2,684 pounds, 73 feet, 72 inches. And we slide on over to the 1992 team. Oh, 1992 team is heavier and taller. About a foot taller and about 100 pounds heavier. Okay, I know.
Okay, that is valid. That is actually valid. The Croatian team is not valid because that's the 16-year-olds, but the Team USA from 1992 to 2024 is valid.
And say, well, maybe Team USA was going with small ball. This doesn't prove anything. Well, let's rewind for a second, because how many of you, before I showed you this, were going to assume that even if we're looking at the averages, that today's teams would have been bigger than teams of the past?
Okay, let's see.
That didn't turn out to be the case for Croatia or the United States. Come on, admit it. You're surprised. Now, what's another avenue you might take to argue against this? Oh, we don't want to know what the team average is. Let's look at the biggest and best. Send your champion against our champion. Oh, well, happily, because your biggest is Joel Embiid, who is apparently made out of glass. You know, it's 7 feet, 280 pounds of glass. The guy looks like he moves in slow motion and can't stay on the floor because he's always hurt. 50% of his career, he hasn't played his games. So I don't want to hear about today's athletes being bigger, better, stronger. You can't even stay on the court.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I never understood that because they always say we're more advanced now and all that, but how are athletes nowadays getting hurt so much more? Like I don't know if it's more. Maybe I'm just being recency biased with that, but it feels like athletes are always hurt or always out. I don't understand that, but they're allegedly taking care of their bodies better nowadays. So I have no clue.
I just showed that the bigger part isn't true. And if you can't stay on the court because you're always getting hurt, how can you be better or stronger? The guys from the past who were in fact bigger played almost every game and played almost every minute of every game. How is that not a measurement for superiority? Karl Malone is the heaviest for Team USA at 265. And Joel Embiid can keep that 15-pound edge because who cares? Karl Malone would pick Joel Embiid up and break him in half. I mean, come on. Are we going to live in reality here or not? You don't like that? Okay, let's go to David Robinson. David Robinson. A freak. A physical freak. Will pick Joel Embiid up and break him in half.
Yo, is he really? Why is he built like this? Why is he built like this? I did not know David Robinson was this strong.
You say things because you hear things. You repeat them because you hear them. But if you go back and look, the past had freakish looking guys. Let's compare Robinson to Giannis's muscle rippage. Okay? It existed then, it exists now. The problem is that today's players are always hurt and have every advantage that should be preventing them from getting hurt. The fact that today's players aren't actually bigger, can't stay healthy, and can't play by the rules tells me that if anything, they've de-evolved, not evolved. That's called inferiority. When you have every advantage and still can't do what the guys from the past did, you are not superior. I made a point to talk about muscles because a lot of guys have muscles that might look good but don't necessarily indicate what they're like in terms of being a warrior. And we also have guys that don't really have much in terms of muscle tone that could do things like Charles Barkley. Like the way that he left the ground seemed surreal. He doesn't look like he should do that, and yet he did it. Even Greeny, who won't stand up to LeBron on anything, said that Bob Lanier would throw Giannis into the 10th row. Bob Lanier is not in high definition. That does not mean that he isn't strong, and it doesn't stop him from being 250 pounds just because he lived in the 70s. Finally, we come to the abuse of the word evolution. It's funny, the more uneducated and illiterate our population becomes, the more they like to use words that they have no idea what the meaning is. Evolution refers to a biological change that takes place over a long period of time for a species to survive in order to adapt to its challenging surroundings. Humans have no challenges. We stopped having challenges a long time ago. There isn't a reason for humans to evolve into a bigger creature. If anything, you could argue that we could become smaller and get away with it. But we are filling ourselves with all of...
I would say this. I genuinely feel like people nowadays are lazier than back then. It's just because it's just so much easier, bro. So much distractions. Like everything is like you said, handed down. Like a lot of people, it's easier nowadays. So people are lazier. I feel like for sure. And this chart right here, nah, this is a good video. I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
These
I like it.
hormone-injected meats and things like that. We are getting bigger, but not in the right direction. And a handful of the 8 billion, because there's a much larger pool to choose from, do produce some freakish athletes. But overall, I wouldn't say that our species is evolving.
And plus, too, I know people do it now too, both sports, but I'm not. Besides Travis Hunter, I haven't seen no dual sport athletes that not dual. I said Travis Hunter. He's not even a dual sport athlete. I haven't seen no like great dual sport athletes nowadays, bro. Like we watched Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson the other day, bro. They're playing baseball and football, like 2 professional leagues. That's crazy to me. Like Jordan even played base. I know Jordan wasn't that good at baseball, I heard, but he still did it though.
The bottom line is that we do have some technological advances. We have made changes to our surroundings more so than ourselves, and then we mistakenly call that evolution. That is a manipulation of a situation, not a change of one's physical self. Consider this presentation that compares Jesse Owens to Usain Bolt. Pay particular attention to the sound at the beginning of the video.
The runners come to the finish, you'll hear a beep as each man crosses the line. That's the entire finish of the race. That first beep was Usain Bolt. That last beep was Jesse Owens. Listen to it again. When you think of it like that, it's not that big a difference, is it? And then consider that Usain Bolt started by propelling himself out of blocks, down a specially fabricated carpet, designed to allow him to travel as fast as humanly possible. Jesse Owens, on the other hand, ran on cinders, the ash from burnt wood. And that soft surface sold far more energy from his legs as he ran.
What?
This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say that we have changed our surroundings.
That was a good analogy. I really like that analogy, actually. That makes a lot of sense. 'Cause I ran track, and like even just having spikes, like if you ran track or so, even having spikes is a difference. Like when I used to run track, and I reckon someone that has spikes compared to me, like that. So many little things make a difference. Or running on a track that was nice compared to a track that's messed up, made out of concrete. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big difference. I see what he means, yeah.
More than we ourselves have changed. Now, have athletes gotten bigger overall? I don't know, maybe. What can't be argued is that the size of their hearts has shrunk. And when it comes to a battle, maybe the heart is what matters the most.
Hey, I like this video, man. Thank you for recommending that, and I do feel like honestly that's why I started like when I watched The Last Dance. That's what made me like Jordan so much because, bro, his mentality, bro, was just like I like that stuff, bro. Like a lot of people are lazy; they don't got that mentality. That's a big thing. Your mind is like so important, bro. But hey, man, thank y'all for watching the video all the way through. Like and comment if you're new. And if you also always watch the videos, I appreciate y'all in the comment section, man. You know what I'm saying? I see the people that watch my videos and comment every day. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I always try to make sure I like the comments at least and reply. It's your boy Torie Sama, and I'm out.